Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to talk about the fancy set of lights that are located to the start of the runway. Now this set of lights are called the ALS, or the Approach Landing System. Now why is this important? As you can see here, I positioned the drone camera and I've made the weather absolutely dreadful. We can't see much, we can't see where the runway is. We sort of know where the runway is because the approach lighting is pointing towards the runway. Now this is what it will roughly look like if you were doing an ILS approach in horrible weather and the visibility is down to almost nothing. Okay, so I guess you probably can tell from the title of this video and from the starting screen what we're going to talk about. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to decipher all this, what it all means on the approach plate. Yeah, so basically the approach lighting allows you to judge the visibility. Okay, now if you look at the approach plate for this example today, we're going to use we are on the ILS DME localizer runway 23 right in Manchester, and I can use any airport if you want, if you want to play around with it and have a look at different styles of approach lighting, but we are going to look at the one in Manchester. Okay, so if you look at the bottom part of the approach plate, it says here straight in landing runway 28 right. We're going to look at the ILS portion of the minimus. So at 449 feet, so I position the drone camera right about here. So this is roughly what it looks like at 449 feet. And over here it says full TDC or CL out, ALS out. Okay, so let's try to decipher what all these means. Let's start with this. ALS out means approach lighting system out. You will need a minimum visibility of 1200 meters. RVR means runway visibility range of 1200 meters. Okay, TDC or CL out. TDC means touchdown zone or center line lighting out. You're going to need a minimum of 550 meters visibility. Okay, there's a 1 over here, we'll talk about that in a sec. And then if you have full lighting, RVR 550 meters. Okay, so looking at this situation that we're in right now, position the drone camera to the start of the runway, assuming we're doing the ILS, all is good, you're in an Airbus 320 or whatever plane you're in. Can you land? Can you go ahead and land? Let me know in the comments now. Okay, so lucky for us, every set of approach lighting system has a fixed distance between each light, which means we can now decipher or decide if we need to land. Okay, let's have a look here. Now you can simply Google all this information. There's a lot of information out there. Okay, we are going to look at the Calvert approach lighting system. That's the name for this sort of landing approach lighting system. So the one we'll be looking at is this one in particular. Now the whole thing, from the first set of 3 lights here all the way to the set of green lights, the whole thing is 900 meters. Okay, and if you look at this red portion over here, from the green line to the red bit, that's 300 meters. Now if you take 900 meters minus 300 meters, that's 500 meters. Okay, now let's go back to the approach plate. Now if the whole system was out, which means that you will not be able to tell how far 120, sorry, not 120, 1200 meters or 1200 meters or 1.2 kilometers. If you're in this situation, let's go back to the sim. If you didn't have this set of approach lightings coming into the airport to land, you have no way of telling the visibility. There's just no way, it's impossible. You look out the window and see some street lamps, you might even see the highway, but no, that's not the right way. Okay, so you're gonna need a set of lights to tell you how far it is. Okay, back to the approach plate. TDC or CL. TDC is the designated touchdown zone or the runway center line lighting out. Requires a visibility of 550 meters at least, and it says here number 1 as an excerpt. Without hard APFD, you're going to need to extend that to 750 meters. Okay, so if you're flying this approach, the ILS approach, and you see the lights. Okay, however, you're doing it full manual. Okay, the aeroplane is not being flown by the autopilot. You do not have a HUD. You do not have a flight director. Maybe you're in a Cessna or something. You're gonna need 750 meters. Now, how do you determine 750 meters? Okay, 750 meters. Now, remember earlier on I said that this distance from here to here is 600 meters. Okay, 750 meters is 600 plus 150. So you take half the distance from here to here, that's 150. So you should be able to see the first set of lights all the way down in half of the red bit. Okay, so that's 750 meters. So look again. Okay, now back to the plate. Now if we have everything, the full set of lights are all good, you can use 550 meters as visibility, as the minimum to land. So nothing is wrong with the aeroplane. Even though you don't, okay, so even though you don't have these, but the full set of lighting is available, you can use 550 meters as your minimum. Okay, so back in the sim, so you're coming along now. Okay, I've managed to set this little scenario, full fog, some precipitation, you can see some snow falling. This is at night probably. So you're coming in here, and I can see, I don't know, maybe just about where the red bit starts. Okay, so I've got, I would say, 600 meters and a little bit more to land. Okay, so if you're coming in and if you have full autopilot, okay, now I can see the whole thing. So that's 900 meters almost. You must be able to see the lights clearly to make a decision. So yeah, I would say a little bit more than 750 meters in this case. Now it's gone down again to 600 meters. So if you're coming in, if you're flying an A320 or an airliner, whatever airliner, and you have the autopilot flying, you will need 550 meters. So as long as you see these sets of lights at the approach, at the decision altitude of 449 feet, you can continue the approach. Okay. If you're doing it in an aeroplane without an autopilot, so a Cessna 172 or anything that doesn't have any of a flight director or the autopilot is not flying the aircraft, you're gonna need a minimum of 750 meters. So in this case, you would probably abandon the approach to be safe and go around and probably go to your alternate where the weather's a bit better. Okay. Now you can see the weather going back and forth. It's getting brighter. Now I can see all the way to where the poppy lights are. So for that reason, it's always worth to reshoot the approach a second time because sometimes it improves. And if you're lucky, you can see the lights. You can go ahead and land. If not, always go to your alternate. Okay, so you're coming in now. Let's say we are flying in and we get closer up to this point and we can sort of see. Okay, there. Now there's one more thing I forgot to mention. The designated touchdown zone, which is this set of lights here, past the threshold. The whole thing here is 300 meters. Okay, so 300 plus 900 meters. The whole thing is 1.2 kilometers. Okay, so that's the reason why it says here a minimum of 1200 meters if the whole thing was up. Okay, if it's working, it means you can see more than 120. Not 120. I keep saying 120, 1200 meters. It means you're all good to land. Okay? Alright. Well, I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.